Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. I am your host, as always, Stefan. And, of course, I am joined by my lovely, sparkling, effervescent co-host.
Yay, Martin, he's here, woo, as always.
And we are joined by Pontus. Welcome.
Another day, more beer. What can I say?
Yeah, friend of the podcast and friend of beer.
Yes, very much a friend of beer. So we are, so every year on the weekend following the 4th of July, Amager has, or Amaya, or Amel has a Amarikaner day where they do 6 collaborations with American breweries. So this year there was one that was postponed. It was a double dry hopped IPA that got put back a week. And otherwise they've released all of the other ones in bottles, and I was able to get 4 of them. I'm missing the Imperial Stout collaboration with Voodoo Brewing.
Boo, Stefan.
I know. Well,
sad noises.
You know what? We can blame Glassbanken because that's where I got these off of, and they didn't have that one.
Okay.
So I blame them. But we have 4 looks to be pretty interesting beers here from some interesting collaborations with breweries that we're familiar with, and one that I think that we're not too familiar with. So, what do you think? You excited about these?
Very excited. They look delicious.
Yes, they look really good. I would say though, I'm a bit disappointed that they made a lager with Transient of all the breweries.
We'll get there.
That's
Don't jump the gum yet.
But that's where we are now.
Well, not yet. First, I want to see, have you guys ever been to the American Days that Amager puts on?
No. I haven't.
No.
Yeah? You should go. We should try to do it next year. It's quite a lot of fun. I was going to go this year, but I ended up doing, I went to Bakken with my daughter and one of her friends, which is a lovely amusement park in the middle of nowhere in Denmark. World's oldest amusement park, 438 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm just really curious, what would a amusement park have looked like 438 years ago? Was it a lot of
chopped off heads?
I'm going to say, the amusement is like kicking the head in the bucket or something,
Yeah.
It's a lot more thumb screws and floggings and...
beat on the pour.
Yeah, that seems like something that I could see the rich people...
I like that you're trying to get on record that you're a good father.
I am, I try to. It's a little known fact. In case something comes up later...
you can just show them your beer podcast.
Exactly. That'll make... Obviously, he is a good father.
Yes. So now we get to Pontus' comment.
Yes. So the first beer is Peg Puff, which is a pale lager. Brewed with collaboration of Transient, which is not known for lagers.
The Transient are known for thick, heavy, amazing imperial stouts and for double IPAs, right?
Yeah.
But mostly for thick, amazing imperial stouts.
Well, each one of these beers has a delightful story on it. I'm not going to read it because it's quite long, and you can go online and find out for yourself. Yeah. They do a really good job of documenting all of their storytelling for each beer that they put out. But yeah, Pale Lager comes in at 5% ABV. Looks like a unfiltered lager. It's a little hazy.
It's a little hazy, but compared to the next glasses, this one is very, very...
This one is clear as day, I would say.
Yeah, in comparison.
It's got a nice, fizzy carbonation, which you would kind of want from a lager.
Yeah, and a really nice citrusy nose as well.
Yeah.
It smells like a lager.
Yeah,
it does smell like a lager, but I smell like a little bit of like bell pepper and citrus notes, and it's promising. But there's also that cereal kind of malty undernote there as well. All right, well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It tastes like a pale lager. There is some citrusy notes. Those are quite nice.
I think it's got a nice bitter finish. I know.
Yeah, it's a bit dry as well from the lager.
Very dry.
Yeah, I quite like this. I know you're not a huge lager fan. I know lagers don't get a lot of respect in the beer drinking world, but
well, it's good for a day like this. I'd say, like sit out in the sun and slip a few of these ones wouldn't be bad at all.
No, I agree. But I would still choose an IPA. But I'm keeping my mind open. So open that it might fall out.
Yeah. But this is exceptionally bitter. I'm actually quite surprised at how bitter the finish is.
It might be really dry hops. I think like they put a lot of hops in for being one of these kind of beers. Because I think I had the same recently at Malmö Brewing. They had a lager with dry hop with mosaic in it.
Oh, nice.
And that one was amazing. This one's a bit like that, but a lot drier than that.
Yep.
So they're using Columbus, Saz, Mosaic, and Citra. Yeah.
It's just that this style needs to really step up to impress me.
Yeah. They have to reinvent themselves more or less.
In order to impress me, you're
Yeah.
completely right. They need to reinvent themselves. That's a bit of a high bar to set.
Well, what I like about this is it doesn't have even though it smelled kind of cereal in the nose, it doesn't have a real cereal finish.
Yeah, I'll say that.
I like the fact that it finishes very clean, very neat. I mean, it's exactly what a lager should be doing, I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't really agree there because, like in the finish, I get a bit of like a soapness on it.
Do you?
Yeah, like
All
it's
right.
really dry and then, like a bit of dry soap in the background.
All right, I'm not getting the dry soap, but
A little bit of soap.
a little bit of soap.
Yeah.
All right, I can see. I can see where I guess we go for that, but I'm not registering that as soap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see where it's got kind of a cleaning agent kind of finish to it. Yeah.
Exactly.
But for me, that is almost kind of sometimes a characteristic of a lager.
Well,
That's maybe why I don't really pinpoint it as much.
I would say, like, but still, like the one I had a few weeks back, the one with the dry hop with mosaic in it, there's none of that at all. But it still had like this clean lager taste, but it was like really floral and citrusy.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really good one. But this one is like the first part is amazing. Then it goes worse and worse and worse as long as it gets. I'd say.
All right. So, what do you give Peg Puff?
If it was only like the first sip, I would give it like a 4 out of 5. But then I had like the off taste, so I'd say 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think this is a perfectly good lager. It's not exceptional. It's not going to change the way you feel about lagers. I'm also at 3.5.
I'm at a 3.
3?
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's not bad for you. I feel like that's high praise.
Yeah, exactly. Especially for a lager.
Yeah, considering how you hate lagers.
So, Stefan, you and I have shared pilsners that I've given 4s and stuff to.
We have never shared a Pilsner that you've given a 4 to.
Of course we have.
No.
But they've been heavily hopped.
Okay.
So that's the
That's
way to
the
the heart.
difference. The hops. All right. So moving on, we have Ancient Dinosaurs, which is a dry hopped Chevik.
Kvik.
Kvik. Sorry, it's Norwegian. Kvik. Session IPA. It's 5%.
So if it's Kvik,
brewed in connection with Half Acre out of Chicago.
yeah. So this is another case of Half Acre making amazing double IPAs and really IPAs with a lot of mouthfeel. And a session IPA, I don't know if it's going.
The question is this one boiled or is it a cold brew? Because some of Quake beers are cold brewed totally.
Oh, cool.
That's like the history of Quake. Like they made him a few hundred years back as like beers for weddings, funerals, and stuff like that. So they didn't boil the water back then. They only had the wild Quake yeast with the hops and all in it, and often also what's called enbär and one.
Sloan berries. No, that's not. That's another. Juniper.
Yeah, juniper.
Yeah, juniper. Yeah.
So they had juniper like as the spice more or less for the beer. So then they fermented it, and then they have the Quake yeast that made it work. And it also ferments when it's cold brewed.
Yeah.
Totally.
In the Kvik yeast, what's interesting about it is that it works really fast.
Yes.
So I was listening to this beer podcast the other day talking about brewing with this, and you could literally double your output by using this Kvik yeast because it works so fast that you could do like half the fermentation time.
Okay, so maybe the Half Acre guys came to Amager Brygghus so close to the 4th of July. Maybe they had to use Quake to get it done in time.
Or maybe
they just want to try it for the first time.
Yeah, maybe they wanted to try it for the first time and see how it worked. That's kind of, I would be guess how that was actually.
Yeah.
But it smells. It doesn't smell like a session IPA.
No, it smells promising.
Yeah, it's got a nice hoppy nose. It's
But how strong was it again?
it's 5%.
5%.
Yeah.
Martin, what do you say about session IPA? Is it 5%?
It's not a session IPA if it's 5%.
I agree with you. It's a session IPA. It's an IPA.
It's an IPA.
Yeah.
Like we've gone through this so many times.
Yeah. I don't know why people insist on saying, "Oh, it's a session at 6.4." I'm like, no, that's not a session anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah. Once you hit 5, you're in that IPA ABV range. So it's just a straight up IPA.
I think the strongest session we've seen is 5.9.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
And the weakest double IPA we've seen is 6.4 or something.
Yeah.
So that's
Martin, I've seen a session double IPA.
No, but
That's not even a thing.
Well, they call it a session double IPA. It was a candy chug.
Yeah, but that's fun. That's a joke category.
Yeah, that's that's making up stuff. All right, well, what do you guys think? Excited about this one?
I want to try it.
Yeah.
All right, well, cheers.
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 It's a little thin.
It's a little thin. There's a Swedish word I want to use. It's July Amager.
Kind of weak.
Kind of weak and a little muddled flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. There's no real clean flavor profile that's coming through. It's kind of...
Like it's all over the place, but at the same time it's not.
Exactly. There's things happening, but there's nothing really happening that makes you go, oh, wow, that's outstanding.
Exactly.
It's just kind of like a very middle of the road, I would say, IPA.
Yeah, this is the session IPA for the average Joe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was just to be out and I'm kind of like, I just want something kind of easy to drink, I think this would be really hit the spot.
Yeah.
Because it's not going to be like challenge your taste buds in any way. It's not going to be too overwhelming in any way. It's just going to be very pleasant and easy to drink.
Yeah.
I'm going to challenge that by saying that I feel a little bit of hop burn at the back of my throat in the aftertaste, despite it being so low in hop flavor. A burning sensation is approaching at the back of my throat.
Have you seen a doctor about that? You might want to get some penicillin.
Exactly, Martin. And is that thanks to the beer, though?
Yeah.
I think it's thanks to the beer. You should try sipping it again.
All right, I'll sip it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but like it's minimal hop burn, like really, really minimal.
Yeah.
It is. Maybe this could sit a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And it would go away. Maybe in 2 weeks. This is in a better spot.
But when you mentioned average Joe, the average Joe just does not like that burning.
But I don't think the average Joe would really pick up on that because it's very subtle. I mean,
Exactly.
If you hadn't said something, I wouldn't have even really acknowledged it.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I'd say like on the second sip though, it was a bit more like floral in the taste compared to the first sip. So it got a bit more juicier, but still like nothing special at all. Like nothing stands out. It's a good beer.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with a 3.5 on this one as well.
3.25 for me.
3.25.
Yeah, so I have to agree with Stefan on this one. It's a straight out of 3.5. It's not a bad beer. It's not really like an amazing beer as well. It's a good drinkable beer.
Yeah, like I said, I could if I was at the Amager brewery or at their tap room and they had this and I was just like looking for something to have a pint of and take it easy, this would be a really good choice.
Yeah.
All right, so that's up next is a 7% dry hopped hazy IPA made in collaboration with Titletown Brewing out of Green Bay, Wisconsin.
I have never heard about Titletown.
Me
I
neither.
haven't either. So I'm kind of curious how they found them. Are all of these breweries from the Midwest?
You're asking us?
Well, I'm just looking at I just happened to notice it's like, so you've got Transient out of Michigan. You've got Half Acre out of Chicago. Oops, knocking beer bottles over here.
Stefan is out of line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this Demon Juice with Titletown is out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. So it's all very similar areas. But then you've got the last beer, which is made with a brewery out of Nashville. We'll say which brewery that is for later. But focusing on the Demon Juice, again, very murky,
super hazy
IPA.
Yeah. One of the regular beers in the haze craze, more or less.
Yeah.
Yep.
When will they go back to the West Coast style? I miss it.
You know what? Every once in a while you get something that comes out as a West Coast, and
but like 9 out of 10 IPAs these days are so hazy
and so sweet. You're kind of like, oh yeah. Whenever you get a bitter one, you're kind of like, oh, this is so refreshing and different.
I know.
I
miss that so much. Like when I get the clear West Coast IPA, when I can like feel all the hops in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'd be regular for just a standard IPA, just like clean, bitter with a very, very bright.
So this one smells both sweet and fruity.
Yes. Just like your regular any IPA.
This is kind of weird because I don't really get much of a smell of anything other than just kind of clean. I don't really get the...
I'd say it's a bit boozy in this smell though.
Yeah, it's a little booziness. That's kind of what I'm getting off of. But I'm not getting a lot of the sweetness or...
I'd say I get booze and like a bit of pineapple in the nose.
Yeah. Yeah, when I smell at the top of the glass instead of next to the beer, I get more of the fruitiness. You do that when you smell a beer? Do you smell across the glass?
You've taught me to do it, but I seldom do it.
Do you seldom do it? Because I mean
I used to put
the
my
notes
nose on
that
the
you
edge
get
first, then just tilt it a bit more close to the beer.
And then so what I do is I'll usually smell close to the beer, and then I'll smell from the top of the glass as well, because it is a bit of a difference in the smell. All right, well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's really good.
Yeah.
That's...
But like I say, here I get more hop burn than from last one.
This one I definitely get hop burn from. Yeah.
Oh, there's a sweet fruit in this one that I just can't place.
There's something kind of caramelly about this. If you want to read through all of that, there's probably some secret ingredients in there that tell you what the flavors are they're going for.
Martin, I would say like real, almost overripe mango.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that might be it. Some super sweet fruit.
Exactly, like not the regular mango, like it's sweet, but this like is the overripe one.
Yeah, almost like a guava kind of characteristic.
But the guava is a bit more like sour. So like
for me, guava usually turns into that like spoiled cabbage garbage kind of. I can't stand guava in beer. It really turns me off usually. But I think this is. It's got the sweetness. The mouthfeel's a little light. So you're not getting that rich coating, but the aftertaste is like really pleasant and fruity, and
I would say I almost get a bit like of pink grapefruit as well, like in taste. Like
I think it's where the bitterness kind of comes in. Yeah.
Okay, the label actually mentions how they found Titletown.
Okay.
So in '96, there was an American exchange student, Jacqueline Waker, living in Copenhagen. Her dad started one of the first craft breweries in Green Bay, Titletown Brewing. So her friends, knowing that her dad was a brewer, brought her to Amager, and she became friends with the brewers. Okay. And then time went by, and in 2019 they finally managed, like 23 years later, managed to arrange that collaboration.
That's kind of cool though, I'd say.
So that's pretty cool. 5 representatives of the Waker family, led by Jackie, the exchange student, and her dad Brent, came to brew Demon Juice over a breakfast loaded with plenty of Danishes. So that's pretty fun.
So there was a lot of aquavit during that breakfast?
Probably. But that's a fun story.
It is.
Because otherwise, how do you become friends enough to collaborate with...
But Martin, that's the beer world for you. Like,
yes.
What would it be without all like the social aspect of it?
Yeah.
It's like, I say, the social aspect is like 70% of the beer drinking. The beer drinking alone is like the 30% left.
Yeah, the rest is the social. I agree. Brewers easily become friends. Beer drinkers easily become friends.
Exactly.
Okay, having that backstory, then I'm a little disappointed by their label that they put the football player in a red and blue, purple jersey.
It should be red and white.
Well, no,
The
it should
Demons
be.
is the Copenhagen American football team.
Yeah.
But they're from Green Bay, so it should be
Well, it's
green.
de-
You should see green and
yeah,
yellow.
the Demons, though, the football team are from Copenhagen. So it's an homage to American football.
The Copenhagen
but in
Demons.
Copenhagen. Yeah, Copenhagen Demons.
Oh, I didn't know there was a football team called Copenhagen Demons. Ah, I was just thinking Green Bay, which is a huge football town.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
So
But that, yeah,
And
okay, so this is a reference to their
Yes, they
red
are.
and.
It's not the Green Bay Packers. As you
Well,
want
I
it
know
to
it's
be.
not the Green Bay Packers, but they could have, you know.
I know. I think it's an homage to like.
wait, it's not the
Green-
Copenhagen Demons, it's the Amager Demons.
Yeah, even that.
All right,
It's super local.
it is super local. Okay, so what do we think? What are we giving? Oh, good.
Yeah, so this one's
Thomas?
like really clean, straight, easy drinkable in the IPA.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's a 4 for me. 4 or 5.
Yeah, I give it a 4. It's got that kind of pale ale, tea, herbal kind of thing that I like about.
I finally agree
Sometimes-
with you. This is a 4.
This is a
Yeah.
4. All right,
Welcome to the
finally.
club, Martin.
I like
All
this.
right, excellent work. So next up and last of the beers we have is Sarah's Secret Imperial Pastry Stout, coming in at 11.5%, brewed in connection with Bearded Iris Brewery out of Nashville, Tennessee.
So Bearded Iris is a brewery that we hold in high regard.
Yes.
Yeah, when it comes to their IPAs at least.
I don't know if I've tasted a stout from a Bearded Iris.
I had a few once. You know the Café con Leche, I think it's called.
Okay.
I think I had like at least 3 or 4 stouts from them. But
Nice.
their IPAs have been sublime.
Yeah,
overall.
Yeah.
They're mostly known for their big IPAs, and
And also their sour IPAs.
So this is a pastry stout
this
for
is
sure.
This is a straight up sugar bomb pastry stout.
Holy. Yes.
Wow.
Holy
I mean,
moly.
I get the chocolate, I get like just caramel,
Vanilla.
sugar,
I get a ton of
vanilla.
marshmallow in it.
Yes.
Oh, there's a lot going on here. This just reeks of pastry stout.
It smells like diabetes.
It does. It smells like, oh my god, I'm going to need an insulin injection after this. All right. Well, cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That
it-
is
this
really, really sweet.
Yeah, it tastes like diabetes. It
This
smells
is a
like
very
diabetes.
omnipoyo style.
It does.
Yeah.
It is very omnipolar. Yes.
I'd say Henlock would be proud of this one.
Yeah. This is.
But still, I like the dry finish though. Like, the first is really sweet in the beginning, but then it dries off a bit. So it's like, in the back you get this like, you know, the toffee-like, dry toffee-like feeling.
You get more of the roastiness
Exactly.
in the end.
Like the roastiness, toffee, vanilla, like all in the
A
background.
lot of toffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
So ingredients include lactose, hazelnuts, cacao, and vanilla beans.
Ah,
I don't get hazelnuts on this.
no, that might be the one that has gone into toffee. Because you know, hazelnut sometimes gets more like this toffee-like taste.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot.
Yeah.
It's so funny that like they write all of this descriptor in English, but yet they put all of the
Ingredients.
and everything in Danish.
Yeah, but that's because they have to do it according to Danish law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is. I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah,
So it really depends on how you feel about
Pastry stouts.
pastry stouts, because this one's very, very pastry-ish.
well, I usually love them, but like this one, it doesn't have like this distinct taste of like one kind of pastry. It's like more things all over the place.
Yeah.
If they have, it's supposed to be one pastry. I love it.
Well, this is supposed to be based off of a Sarah Bernhard
Yeah,
pastry.
I know, but like I don't really get it.
I don't either. I'm missing, like you said, a particular flavor impact. It's kind
Yeah.
of, it's kind of like the session IPA that we had, which is a little all over the place. It wasn't really any one thing.
It's like, kind of like they threw everything in the pot and just hope for a good result.
Yeah, because it's I
Yeah.
get sweet,
Yeah,
and that's in vanilla, and which makes it feel even more sweet.
exactly. and hazelnuts, even more sweetness there.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what 90% of all pastry stouts taste like.
Both yes and no, I would say. I don't really agree with that one.
Pastry stout style model 1A. You don't
Yeah.
agree?
No, I agree. And I think it's one of those things, like, if you were to barrel age this, it would cover up some of those flaws that are in the beer and make you think, like, oh, this is an amazing beer. Because that barrel aging would really give it some characteristics and some notes to it that this is missing.
Be though, but I've been maybe a bit too spoiled with pastry stouts lately though. It might be that as well, why I'm so critical about this one right now.
We've been starting to search out the highest rated pastry stouts to get away from this like sludge of let's make another pastry stout.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had some real nice games there.
Yeah. Yeah, there certainly exists amazing pastry stouts.
Of course, and people continue to make them for a very good reason.
And exactly like you say, they're usually aged in some kind of barrel, or they have fresh maple, or they do something that makes it pop.
Yeah, and in everything, shout out to More Brewing.
And More Brewing makes amazing beers. They're from outside of Chicago, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Villa Park.
Yeah. So we tried some pastry stouts from them, and they were
excellent.
Out of the park.
All right. Well, this one is not out of the park. This one is very muddled in the middle of the park.
This was inside the Diabetes Intensive Care
department. Yeah, I would give this, I think, a 3.25.
3.75 from me.
Yeah, I think. And I'm in the middle of you guys. 3.5 here.
Yeah, and I think the reason, like, I get why you go 3.75.
Yeah.
Because overall the beer is not bad. It's actually a good stout, but it just doesn't have anything that
stands out.
Yeah, that makes you think, oh, I'll never, forget having that one. And this is like, if I was to have it again, I'd probably be like, oh, I don't remember having this. And then I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I did have this.
It's like a deja vu, like most simple pastry stouts. Like, we don't have like clear direction.
Yeah.
It tastes more or less like this.
But that's exactly what I was going for with my previous...
I'm sorry, Martin.
I know.
Now you agree with me. Good.
Yes, no, that's why I'm giving it a 3.25, because it could be great, but it's just not giving me anything. But I think if you look at what Amaya and Bearded Iris are capable of, I feel like, and honestly, I've kind of come to this conclusion recently that collaboration beers are really not worth the effort. They kind of suck most of the time, or they're really underwhelming based on the pedigree of the brewers that are collaborating together.
I would agree with that one, but there's some exceptions to that as well.
I mean, of course, there are always exceptions to the rule.
Yeah.
But I would say 8 out of 10 times, I'm almost always somewhat disappointed in the final results.
Yeah. So, a question: have you had the actual pastry?
The Sarah Bernhardt? Yeah, I've had a Sarah Bernhardt before. It's pretty common.
I've never had it.
You can find them in.
Does it taste like this?
Not really.
Much.
Okay.
No.
Because if it tasted exactly like this, then of course this beer is spot on.
Exactly.
No, it needs more. It needs the hazelnut is much more
prominent. Like it's more like we say a hazelnut vanilla flavor that's supposed to be like required. This one, a bit too much toffee to get to like the real taste.
Yeah.
I think the vanilla is kind of overpowering everything.
Yeah, like it's really like a good balance between vanilla and the hazelnuts. But it's.
Yeah, so this is where we would have continued on to an amazing Imperial Stout collaborated with Voodoo, but Stefan didn't get it.
Look, Glassbakken did not offer that one, so I feel like Stefan, we know who to blame.
We blame you.
Well, you can blame me as well, but I also blame my resources on what was available to me. I can only get what was available to me.
I'm gonna check your recycle bin for an empty bottle.
I would have saved that one for you guys.
We know.
Because I like the ensemble of trying things. Yep. Well, at the very least, I love that Amager does this and every year, and they always do interesting collaborations with different American breweries. I look forward to what they're going to do next year, because I find them to be one of the more fun Danish breweries out there.
Yeah, that's true. Yep. I would say, like, for me though, Amager has always been like this quality brewery. They never really make bad beer. They always make quite good beer, but at the moment there's no one even close to Gamma, I would say.
When it comes to Copenhagen, Gamma is knocking every IPA out of the park.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're talking about, but they only do like one type of beer. I mean, Gamma is only releasing hazy IPAs.
At the moment, yes.
At the moment,
Yes.
What, do you know something I don't know? Like they're going to start releasing other styles?
No,
suddenly?
but they had some the other ones before that's been really good as well. But like,
Yeah.
their any IPA game is on class with, like, I would say, the US East Coast right now.
Yeah.
No, they're doing really good stuff, but I mean they're a little one note when what they're currently doing. It's always hazy IPAs.
But then you have what's it called, the Strange Weather.
Which was like a session IPA or something.
No, the brewery Strange Weather.
Oh right, I've only tasted once. Strange Weather is super new. It's one of the Gamma guys, right?
Yes, one of the Gamma guys. It's one of the Dry and Bitter guys, and the owner of the dispensary, Lee.
Okay.
So they released the first IPA. It's finally a classic West Coast IPA, and they're also coming to Brewski Wall. They got invited. I saw it yesterday.
Nice.
All right. Well, that's a little off topic, so circling back around.
We always go on a tangent.
I know, but we'll circle back around to Gamma and what's happening with them on another episode, because they are very interesting, and they've really kind of changed the game a little bit in what's happening with the Danish brewing, because they are releasing basically new cans every week.
Yeah.
And they're only like, was it Ale Farm?
Yeah, Ale Farm has been releasing like at least 30 different beers this year, if not even more.
Yeah,
but,
so really those are the only two brewers that are releasing on such a high volume.
Yeah, but still, Ale Farm, they are miles below Gamma.
Ale Farm is a little more hit or miss. I mean,
Yes.
they've either doing really good or doing really middle of the road. Where, I mean, I agree with you, Gamma is kind of killing it right now. And I don't know what changed with them, because I know, like, for a while we were just getting a few, beers at Systembolaget.
Yeah,
and I will say World Eater is an amazing Imperial Milk Stout. It's so good. But yeah, they've really just flipped their model and been putting out crazy good stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to our common friend about what has changed, because he might have some more information there.
Yeah. All right. So wrapping it up.
One more thing about these beers. We're only tasting 4 out of the 6, and when we talk about it as a lineup, I think we really would have benefited from having the double IPA as well.
Well, that one wasn't released in time for the event.
No fault on you.
It just came out like a week or two after.
Yeah, I get that, but we're going from a pale lager to a session IPA to an IPA. I feel like a double IPA would have been the natural progression there.
And I would have said,
But
before the Page Stout, even the Imperial Stout as well, like the one with the wood brewing.
Yeah, but we've tried series before. We've tried the Miss series and the Mr. series.
Yeah,
and they aren't good.
No, they're interesting. I mean,
interesting.
I will say there's a lot of hit or misses in there.
Yeah.
But I will like the fact that they aren't meant to be like extraordinary beers. They're meant to be very experimental and very thinking outside the box and what you can ascribe a color palette to and how you can achieve those kind of things. But usually when you even try those, there's a natural progression, and sometimes there's big hops in between. And I don't know that that 8% double dry hopped double IPA would have been an inclusion, would have been a good inclusion, or if the Imperial style would have also been the bridge that we needed.
Maybe not, but I think a double IPA would really have popped in this lineup.
It's always good to have a double IPA.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna poo on that idea.
That was all I wanted to say.
Okay, good. So you can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, iTunes, YouTube.
Basically anywhere you can find good podcasts.
You can find What's on Tap. So thank you for all the new listeners that have joined recently. We appreciate that. And we hope you enjoy the show. Until next time.
Keep drinking, you dumb bros.